This video I'm going to be talking about Derek Trucks' slide guitar technique, specifically the right hand technique that he uses, and hopefully it'll give you some things that you might want to work on to help to sound more like him with your slide guitar playing. So Derek Trucks has pretty much become like probably the industry standard slide player and the one that has probably influenced most people. There's a lot of different elements to his sound and his technique that I think really make him like one of the, if not the best slide player ever. So I'm going to go over some of those things in this video, and I think it's his right hand picking technique that really, I think, is the biggest thing, that if you want to sound like him, really try to dial in that, and if you can do that, you're going to be like 90% of the way there. So as you can see, I don't have an SG, I don't have like a, pretty sure he uses like twin reverb Fender style amps. I'm not using a glass slide. I'm in E standard tuning. I'm not in E. I'm not in open E tuning like I believe he typically uses. So there's a lot of things wrong with this setup if you're trying to sound like Derek Trucks, but I think there's a lot of things with the technique more so than the rig and the guitar that I think are more important and will get you most of the way there. So the biggest thing that you see him do, especially when he's like, when it's rocking, you notice this picking technique. So he'll do this. Someone corrected me in my YouTube short video on this. It's called a rake. So like you rake down with your thumb while you kind of mute the strings, and then you pick up with, I think he uses, it looks like he's using like 2 or 3 fingers to come up. I usually use one, it's more comfortable for me, and I think you get the idea, but you really have to dig into the playing and really pick, like, you know, you really have to kind of just go for it and, you know, pick hard. You're going to develop the feel and the technique for it, but I think that's a big thing too, is he's really, when he's kind of use the side of your thumb and then maybe even like a palm mute type technique to get that. When you do that rake, you can kind of mute the strings that way. Also too, you might not even need to mute it when you're really kind of digging in. Just make sure you cover up after the fact. So rake down with your thumb. And depending on what string you want to play, I'm playing the 2nd string, and I'm going to just slide up to this A in the 10th fret. So rake down, come up with the string that you want to play, and slide into the note. Try to do it a little bit slower, broken down. It's going to sound weird, but that's more or less what's going on. I'll come closer, just maybe you can see more of what's going on. A lot of it is that picking technique, you know. I'm playing through like a Roland Micro Cube, just on a, you know, I'm on like the British combo amp setting, so just like a standard kind of vintage, you know, vintagey kind of, it's kind of standard vintagey tube amp, and then I just have the gain up a little bit. Just to give you an idea, the other stuff, I'm using a mag slide. I've got Elixir, like 12 to 54 gauge strings, I believe. I'm using a Seymour Duncan, I think it's the little 59 humbucker in the neck position. That's a big thing with his sound. It's the, I believe he uses the neck position on the SG with the humbucker majority of the time. And then I'm just going into the amp. There's no other pedals or anything. Another thing that he does a lot too, it's like you play like multiple notes, like you pick the string once and then you'll slide up or back to the note. So like so instead of like picking every time, it would be like and then a lot of these like, you know, like accentuations, like these like micro, I don't even know what you'd really call them exactly, but like kind of like in between microtone type things. So like so that was like, you know, early on, like the Derek Trucks band stuff, when he was doing a lot more of that like kind of Indian fusion sound. Like he did a lot of those kind of like those like half step kind of. So I definitely recommend, if you're trying to get after his sound, work on your picking, work on that picking technique, specifically that sequence of like the rake down and then picking up. That'll get you most of the way there. And then there's other elements to, like, you know, the slide technique, but I really think the picking technique is really important to get you to that sound. And again, like, you know, don't go crazy feeling like you have to buy the SG and you have to buy the twin reverb or super reverb and the, you know, the exact slide and all this stuff. Like, you can get most of the way there if you really focus down on your technique. And most importantly, you got to just play a lot and, you know, really get comfortable with the technique. It's not something I think that will happen overnight, so you really got to work on it. But if you're trying to get better at slide, he's, I think, one of the best, you know, role models, and definitely going in and examining what he's doing and trying to learn it for yourself is going to make you, you know, a really good slide player at the end of the day. All right, that's it. I hope that was a good breakdown of the Derek Trucks technique. It'd be great if you can give me a thumbs up on the video if you did enjoy. If you're into slide guitar and you're interested in learning slide guitar, I have a lot of other slide lessons on my channel. It'd be great if you could consider subscribing if that type of thing interests you, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.